At some point, too, our energy could mingle, and then years down the road, it just doesn't mingle anymore, and you just part ways in perfect love and perfect trust.
Right. In most cases, anyway, right?
You try.
You try.
You try.
There are some cases where that's not possible.
Exactly.
But what are you going to do? That's life, too.
Right.
You know. But and sometimes people get their energies are meant to mingle again a little bit further down the road.
Exactly.
You know,
we never know. We never know.
You never know. It's true. You never know. But as far as the witchcraft is concerned, now you do that ceremony every single year? We do that ceremony every single year. You know, sometimes we'll alter it up a little bit, you know, depending on what's going on. Do you always go to Snug Harbor, or you do it up
No, this was actually the first time we did it at Snug Harbor.
And it was at their invitation?
It was their invitation, and it was also publicized with the Staten Island Advance.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it really did help. It helped witchcraft a lot, especially on Staten Island. You know, people who showed up. We had about 60 people that showed up.
60 people were present at that?
On the outer circle. Most of them weren't witches. They just wanted to see what was going on.
They were just observing.
Yeah. And everybody respected it.
Well, that was, yeah, because you can't tell that there were that many people around. They weren't. They were.
It was dark.
Quiet.
Yep. And at the end, we did a question and answer, and I have to say, everybody was very respectable with their questions.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I imagine people aren't going to just show up to something like that to be nasty and give you a difficult time.
Correct.
You know, especially with all of those people there, they don't know how other people are going to react to that.
Right.
So naturally, they would be there and ask respectful questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
Yeah. Do you ever have anybody giving you a difficult time?
I have to say, within 5 years at the shop, maybe once or twice. It's not as much as I thought it would be.
Really?
Yeah. So it's been very good, though, I have to say.
Did you? What was the case where you had somebody come in and tell you off or something?
Yeah, I had one guy come in and he asked me if I was malignant or benign.
Oh no.
And I looked at him and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm not a tumor.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, "You know, why'd you put the shop in this area?" And you know, blah blah blah. And I looked at him and I said, "I want to add some culture to Staten Island." Right. So he's like, you know, Satan worshiping culture, and I told him, I said, "You're not looking at what we really do." Back and forth, back and forth. You know, I finally had to tell him, you know, if you don't leave, I'm gonna call the cops. So he left.
And you never saw him again?
Never saw him again. He was one of the neighbors in the area. It was when I first opened. Now, you know, I've gotten really comfortable with the area and the neighbors, and everybody says hello. And
well, I guess they see you're not causing any problems.
Exactly.
You don't have bad things going on there, and you're not disturbing the peace or anything like that.
It's all good. It's all positive.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure. Well, I know it is. I mean, I've come to your shop that many times.
Absolutely.
You know, so I know that it's that way. And I guess the neighbors they get used to.
They get used to it.
As long as you're not bothering anybody, you're not causing them any problems.
Exactly.
They don't, why should they care? You know. So I know that as I said earlier in the show, I had been to Salem on a few occasions, and on a couple of those occasions it was Halloween, and there are people, I was much to my surprise actually, but I thought it was kind of funny because here's everybody in Salem out there celebrating, enjoying Halloween, they're all in their costumes, and then you got a whole bunch of people all lined up with signs and they're protesting. The first time I saw that, it surprised me because I'm like, what is the matter with these people? They're just celebrating Halloween. Exactly. I mean, I was brought up as a child celebrating Halloween. Every year we had a costume. My mother made my costume for me and my sister. Usually she made them, and we enjoyed Halloween. We were brought up with good feelings about Halloween.
You know, Halloween's a great holiday, but apparently, you know, like within every culture and every religion, you get the extremes.
Yeah, that's true.
Who want to dictate and tell you what's right or wrong.
That's true.
You know, but they're not looking at themselves in the mirror.
Right.
So everybody else is going to hell.
Oh, sure.
You know, for having a opinion and expressing their opinion. You know, again, within witchcraft, there is no hell. We don't believe in hell. This is hell.
Yeah.
This is where we pay for our sins here and now.
You think so?
Yeah, there's no afterlife where hell, you know, where you go to a negative place.
Well, it's my understanding from spirit themselves that during a seance with Christopher George, that when we pass and we go into the other, it's another dimension that we go into, that we make our own heaven or hell, knowing how we lived our lives.
Exactly, our own consciousness.
Our own consciousness puts us into the state of heaven or hell wherever we feel we belong when we die.
Right. There is no little man with horns and a tail running around.
And God's not sitting there with a book saying, okay, you did this and you did that, so you're going. No, we judge ourselves.
Exactly.
I know. That's one thing. Even Pope John Paul II said that. I have a couple of articles somewhere at home where he did say we judge ourselves. Don't expect God to be judging you.
Exactly.
Now if the Catholic Pope said that, it must be so, I think, anyway. Right. Well, you were actually brought up Catholic, weren't you? I was
brought up Roman Catholic.
You had the witchcraft in your upbringing as well, but you were brought up Roman Catholic. You went to church, you received, you were baptized,
yes.
Holy Communion, confirmation, all of that.
Yeah, and then, within witchcraft, we don't raise our children to be witches. We raise them, where you can go out and learn about different religions, and then when you hit 13, you can pick your own religion. So we don't raise our children to be witches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people don't raise their children in their religion. They give them that choice, which is a good thing.
Exactly. It's free
to
will, and that freedom.
Yeah, just to see to it that the child learns enough about each religion to make a good decision, an informed decision as to where they want to go. Yeah.
So I did all that.
Well, how do you feel about the conflict, though, where in Catholicism and Christianity and even Judaism and other religions as well, there's one God, and that's it. And usually it's the same God. And how do you feel about that in witchcraft?
Well, within witchcraft, I always say there's many different keys, but one door. So, every religion, it's an energy that, we believe in, an energy that we go to. I don't care if you're Christian, Baptist, Buddhist.
So you feel that there's also one God also, it's just that...
One God, many different faces.
In other words, it's like having one God and then a whole bunch of saints and stuff like that.
Right. But in our particular religion, we believe in a goddess.
Yeah.
So we have our goddess and our God. But like I said, it's one energy, and it's what we pull off that energy.
So in other words, it all boils down to the same thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. It does. It boils down to the same thing where especially that witchcraft is a nature-based religion.
Right.
And so that when you're worshiping, you're outside sometimes, and you're under the one God, really, who's there.
Right. You look at the sun and the moon and the stars. That's magic. That's where the energy. The moon is the goddess and the sun is the god. It's the life force. It's everything that's around us.
Right. Right, well, it is energy, absolutely.
Yes. And if we tap into that energy, magic is very real. And magic is a very important aspect of everyone's life. And to ignore that magic within you disempowers you. So you need to tap into nature and streams and oceans. And if you look at the comparisons, with Jesus and Mary, you can, look at the religious aspects of Wicca. We have almost the same attributes.
In other words, like before when you were talking about the Virgin,
yes,
that could be the Blessed Mother as well.
Exactly. Just like Christmas for Catholics equates to the winter solstice for Wiccans. It's the same concept of the Divine Mother giving birth to the sun. Right. But in our case, it's the sun in the sky.
It's all the same thing. Yes. And don't forget, we as Catholics and Christians, we use holly and Christmas trees and all that. That all came from the Celtics.
Pagans.
The pagans.
And it's all mythology. No matter what religion you look into, it's mythology.
Yeah. So it like as we just said a little while ago, it really all boils down to the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So as far as that's concerned, now you use a lot of. I know that as a Catholic. When I go to church, I can light a candle and say a prayer. Now you light candles and you do what you call a spell, which is tantamount to the same thing.
Yes.
You'll light a candle and sort of say a prayer, and you'll light the candle for an intention.
Exactly.
An intention to bring something good into your life, someone else's, or take something bad out of your life or someone else's.
Exactly.
And the colors of the candle depend on what the purpose is.
What you're looking for.
And tell us a few colors in, what were we going to say?
Also, the moon phases, too. Waxing moon draws in, waning moon sends out.
Right.
So right now, we're on the third night of the full moon. So now we're going to a waning moon. So we're going to banish and push away all negativity.
So like if you want to get rid of an illness, or if you want to get rid of even a person in your life that's annoying you or something, this would be the time to light the proper candle.
And then you would use a black candle. to remove negativity. Now, some people don't like the color black because they get scared by that color. I always say then use white.
Yeah, sure.
You know, when in doubt, use white. But black is
white
protection.
Will cover anything.